everyone, I hope you're doing well. I have been absolutely enjoying drawing and painting these florals, and I have done a few more pages since. I also enjoy the kind of just the line work, having the black ink on the white of paper. I think it's quite striking, and also I sometimes play with adding more detail. And before you apply the watercolor, or in general any type of color, it is easier to kind of see the details. So what I've done here is I've done a plain flower, and then next time I have added lines, and just to see how I like it with color and without, and been just doing a few more florals over here just as a detail flower. So I thought today we'll do another one of those kind of illustrations. Today I just want to create, and I want to get my mind off things. And you might notice that this cute little guy looks like a panda face, and I did not intend it to look like a panda face, but I realized after I took a picture and put it on Instagram, as I was kind of adding some of the text there, I just saw the panda face and I thought it looks really cute. So what we're going to do today, we're going to draw an illustration, adding more detail and just adding some color to it. It's been a very strange weather day, so it might get darker, it might get lighter. It has rained at least 5 times, and then in between the sun would come out, and then it's again a really kind of a strong waterfall, so bear with me if that happens. So today I'm just going to do one flower because I want to focus on the line work, and I'll do that like last. For now, let's just focus on the leaves and a couple of flower details. I usually start with the leaves first and kind of see where I want them to go. Depends what kind of format I'm drawing in. So if it's a landscape like this, I'm just going to try and fill the space accordingly to make it a more kind of cohesive and balanced drawing. I also like to layer. I find that a few layered leaves create an interest, but also making sure that it's not too overlayered, because it becomes a little bit busy and loses that little accent. So I think this is a good shape here, and I'm just going to keep it at that, like so. It's hard to stop, but sometimes I have to. Okay, so I am thinking, let's just add some of those iconic berries that I like to add in my illustration. If you're new and haven't seen the previous drawings and illustrations I have done in this style, then I always mention how you need to make sure the ink of your pen is waterproof. It wouldn't matter so much if you just leave it black and white, of course, but if you're intending to add watercolor, then yes, you do need to make sure that that's the case. Okay, let's have a little look for inspiration at the previous few flowers that I have added, and I quite like this look of a flower here. All of these flowers are one way or another inspired by wildflowers, and then I just kind of take certain aspects, certain shapes, and then create kind of like fantasy flowers sometimes. I'm going to add another one here, repeating the same shape. kind of thinking of layering one this way, just to suggest that it's coming out under the leaf. So we've got 3 here, 2 there, and then it looks like this side is heavier and then less on this side. So whatever flowers I'm going to add, I'm just going to make sure that they are not as detailed. Maybe something like this, something nice and light. So let's see, just a couple of like sort of berries almost. So today I'm going quite detailed, more so than on the previous illustrations. But I think it's my mind trying to relax into the illustration and not think about anything else. It's funny because I've done this video recently where I asked, would you like me to share how I stay away from like being triggered from certain things that are toxic, or just, you know, whatever triggers us always has a reason for being a trigger in our lives. And so today I've been totally like triggered, and so I've been trying to brush it away, but so far I have to say this trigger has captivated some creativity, and I do like that aspect of it. So now you can see I'm just filling up a space that was a little bit too big here with that berry, and here either I'm going to add something that needs to be shorter, or I'm just going to leave it. But I think what I'm going to do is just add one of those leaves. All right, I could actually draw in a few more. Might be a mistake, might be too much, but I think we need something over here. Okay, I'll leave it at that. I really totally could go on. Okay, so now I'm going to add more detail to the actual flower, and I do sections. So I first start within a section, then I separate a section, and then I add a couple of the lines inside the section. There are different ways you could do it. You could do it just, you know, just carry on line after line, doesn't matter really. You can alternate. It's just been really busy here. In the background there is a magazine that just came out with my work that I've done for Derwent, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So it's in this magazine here. Let me get it for you. The Artists and Illustrators. This is the July issue, but my illustration, and it's like a step-by-step tutorial of how to paint a peony with watercolor, and it is in the summer issue which came out after the July. So I think they also have like seasonal issues as well. It's got the frog on the cover, so it says summer 2024. I haven't gotten the issue yet. I have ordered it online, so I'm waiting for my copy, and as soon as it arrives I will of course share it with you, because it just feels so amazing having your illustration published in a magazine. But not only that, the fact that it's for Derwent. We were working on creating an illustration using their new watercolor palette, which, if you're new, it's the 12 and 24 color set. And I've done a few videos about it now, but yeah, it's really fun. It's super vibrant, and I had a lot of fun painting with it for months, like since last year. It's been more than half a year that I had this palette in my hands before obviously it even launched, because I did a lot of work for Derwent regarding this palette. So yeah, I have also designed the illustration on the packaging. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out in my previous videos. So it's been a good time, good, rewarding, busy time, and I know that I've been working hard and I can see some fruition from that, which feels amazing as an artist to be recognized and all that good stuff that brings us joy. Okay, I'm going to carry on and fill in the rest of the lines just like that, and then I will meet you at the end and we'll start adding watercolor. Alright, so I'm back, and so is the strong rainfall. It actually sounds quite romantic. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's beautiful. Let's see if I can get you to hear it. It's a nice summer rain, except for it is 10 degrees today. Super cold. Okay, so 10 degrees on 10th of June. I also stamped the date today. Now I'm going to add some watercolor. I also need to set up my desk today after I'm filming this video. I won't be able to use my desk until Thursday. I've got some major projects happening in the next few days, and again, I can't reveal that now as well. I will be probably talking about it in the Friday video. So today's Monday. I'm hoping to get this video out to you today, and then the Friday I should be able to share a couple of things what I will be doing this week. So when I'm looking at this illustration, there's certain flowers and certain elements that are sticking out to me, and I know what color I want to go for, and then others I will work around it. So for example, I know what color I want for these flowers and these berries. The rest I will work around and see what color palette will work nicely together, like what kind of colors will fit nicely. So what I have here is a really old palette that I put together, like I don't even remember how many years, and I lost excitement for this palette. Kind of haven't been using it for a while, but I do like how they are separated into sections and how I have this mixing area, and these areas inspire me to use color. It's a funny thing. Let me know in the comments whether that's how you see your palette. Sometimes I like to use external palettes, sometimes I like a palette like this. So the other palette I have here is the Fine Tack palette, which has got, like, it's a customized palette by me as well. I have put together these colors myself, and these are gorgeous. So I will be using those for the berries, and I will do them at the end because they're shimmery, so I don't want the shimmers to go everywhere else. And that is that. I hope I'm making sense today, because I'm literally just all over the place trying to get my mind together for this big day tomorrow. Okay, so I will switch to a smaller brush and start with what feels most natural. I'm going to go for Leaf Green by Mijello, which is this color right here. It is super beautiful and I love it. So it's kind of a little bit on the opaque side. Depends how you mix it up, how much water you add there. But it's gorgeous. I like a nice solid layer of color with this particular color here. Okay. Oh, here's another one. So that's done, and now I want the pink, but I can't touch it yet because it's going to move in most likely, and then it's going to blend all. So let's go back into greens. I've got a lovely green here, which is a no, it's not sub green, it's Green Gold by Daniel Smith, and this time I'm going to just basically, with whatever I have here, just mix it up, because I look at it that way. I have done all the hard work beforehand, and so why not use the colors that are quite beautiful, and they will add a little touch to the color that you just picked up from the pan. Sometimes I like to use colors without mixing, and sometimes I like to do some very little adjustments to it, and you can do it so quickly by just picking up a bit of that dry color on the palette here. I hope you could see that. So a little bit of dark color and just pulling it in, and there you go, voila, we've got a little change to the color. So the base color is still the same, just a little light tonal change. Again, adding a bit more water, that will change it even more. We'll just have a more kind of watery mix, more translucency, more lightness. Because remember, the white in the watercolor is the paper, and so the more water you use, the more paper you will see underneath. Okay, next to it we have got sap green, which is this one, so it's quite a bit darker, but that's fine. I'm just going to add a little bit here. So I find that when I start adding too many colors to the foliage, to my personal liking, it just messes up the harmony. So what I'm going to do now is repeat the same color on this cluster of leaves here, and I want there to be a repetition. And I'm pulling the color back in here. If you feel like your mix is becoming a little bit weak, then just dab in that stronger mix back in just to add that color, or you can pull it through all together just to build that up. Okay, again I'm looking around where else I'd like to add this sap green, and I think this smaller leaf I can go even darker. Okay, and a couple of these leaves, they're very tiny, so I may need to swap to another brush. Let's see, I think I'm going to go for the dark green here, the one that's just peeping out from underneath, like so, and maybe this one here as well. Lovely little contrast next to these lovely light yellowy greens. Just pay attention, if something is overlaid, then be strategic with your time and go back in those areas when they're more likely to be dried, because otherwise what can happen, which is also can be a good effect, but not in this example here where I'm keeping it detailed and kind of precise. I wouldn't want the yellow kind of flowing into the green of the leaf. So now let's go back into our kind of yellow green. This time I'm just going to mix it with the two colors together and add it into the other leaves here. And this tiny little one. And of course I want this color in this cluster as well. So again, this leaf by now would have dried and nothing should mix together on the paper. So you can see I'm doing a very light variation in color, but mostly we have the same color going through. Nothing is going too far off it. Okay, so I now can focus on the pink. And the pink here that I have is this quinacridone rose, which is a Winsor & Newton in this case. But basically any pink like that would be quite good. There's this one here. I'm just gonna actually take this color out onto my clean palette here, because I like the way it is and I don't want to be mixing it with anything else. Let's see if we do this. There we go. This is so much fun, this little palette. I don't even remember where I got it, honestly. Maybe it was like a garden shop where it had little dishes there or something. Okay, now with this teensy little brush, I'm just going to try and add the pink here. Making sure there's enough water. These petals are very, very thin, so it does require a nice fine brush. This one is a round one. What you can do here is also play with the intensity, and when you add more watercolor, less water, you'll have a more intense color load. And then if you add more water, you'll get lighter colors. So you might want to have that rather than just the same color throughout. No, it's gone dark again and it's back to raining. Just within the time while I'm filming, it happened already 3 times at least. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to continue filling in these petals just like I've done on the other 3 flowers, and I'll catch up with you when I'm done. Here's an optional detail, but I do like to add little marks to the berries right at the end. It's a lovely kind of like a texture that you add to otherwise smooth lines. Everything is smooth in the illustration. Okay, so we've done that. The question here is what color I want for the main flower. And I don't know, to be honest with you. I might try mixing a lighter pink. That kind of color, actually. Yeah, that works really well. So it's got that milkiness from the Mission Gold Shell Pink. And it's gorgeous. I love it. It's kind of like a cool toned pastel pink. So, about there. And now with the clean brush, just going to go over the edges and see if I can smooth them. Some of them would have dried by now, which is fine. And just bring them closer to the outer, or to the inner ring rather than outer. I'm quite liking the look of this, so I think I will leave it at that. See if I just add a little bit of color at the ring here, just by dotting the paint. So as you can see, I'm not adding a line, I'm just dotting it. And as I'm dotting it, if there's anything that's still wet, what will happen is it will kind of just spread it out a bit, create an interesting look. And if you want to help that spread, all you do is just add it like that with your brush by placing it, pointing towards the inner circle and then just wiggling your brush. That is it. Okay, I quite like this look. So all we have left is now some gold. Now let's audition our metallic colors. We've got some pink here which could work, but I just think everything will be a bit too pink. And I do like either golden orange or peach here. I think I'll go for the peach. I like this color. So it's the first one in the palette. I'm just gonna pop it out like so. Hold it in my hand. So with these, look how quickly they activate. Literally already gone all battery and gorgeous. And I'm just going to add a bit of this color to begin with, just in the center, and then I'm going to also add it to these smaller details, like a scalloped edge. God, I'm missing the sun. I really am. I'm taking my vitamin D through supplements, but there's nothing like the real sun. The mood that you get from a sunny day, when you can open the windows and let some fresh air in, and the birds singing. Okay, now I'm going back and I'm going to add this scalloped edge, trying to leave some of the line marks because I want the detail to still stay there rather than just cover it all up. If I go over the line with this paint, you won't see it and therefore we'll lose the detail. That's why I'm just being a little bit careful, trying to still maintain the lines. And then I'm moving on to the next one, and I've got 2 more after I finish this one. While I'm waiting for things to dry, I'm actually going to make a little note. While I'm waiting for things to dry, I actually took this little round element from my color palette. This is the smaller round in the set. Loads of fun swatches you can do and play around with your color palette and color theory. And what I'm going to do now is just create a little kind of note of the colors that I used, because I really love this color palette and it was so simple and so cute and easy to do, that I'm going to start by just noting down the greens that I used in this illustration. Of course, there were a couple of greens in the palette, but these are the main colors that I have used. So it's the 3 greens that I'm going to make a note of and the 2 pinks. So essentially it's a really limited color palette. And then I'm going to write down the names. And not only is it going to be quite practical, because I can refer to the exact colors next time, I can also enjoy the look of them, because it does make a sketchbook quite functional and pretty all at the same time. This stamp set is available on my website, alyonacreates.com. Please have a look. If you're from Canada, I'm selling to Canada only on my Etsy, Alyona Creates. So the final color, quinacridone rose, and it just looks so gorgeous. Even just like this, a little breakdown of the colors always helps. Now I didn't stamp the metallic color, but I can do it in a minute. Okay, I'm going to wait for these to dry. I'm going to title them, and I don't know, possibly have like a little gold one here actually, why not? While I'm here with you, I'll just add it to the illustration. And that will look cute as well. The sun is out, but let's see for how long. We should do a bet that before I finish this video it will probably start raining again. Okay, I'm gonna wait for it to dry, title, and I will come back to show you the final detail. We are done with titling and it looks super adorable and cute. One thing I just realized, I think I said it's Winsor & Newton quinacridone rose, but I do remember this to be White Nights because I put both of the White Nights tube paints in this palette. It's been a long time, but I do remember. Okay, so now for the final detail. Let's do that cute little, kind of, I want it to be now panda face just because, I don't know, it's adorable to me. So I'm just going to create a little panda inspired final touch. You're free to see a panda if you wish, or not, but I think it's a cute little addition to the illustration. Okay, well, it's been sunny, and I think we shall finish on a positive note that art is like some sort of a therapy for the mind. It honestly is. I can't tell you, I didn't have a great day today, and I feel genuinely like my batteries have been recharged in the process of focusing on this nice little composition, on the colors that I felt happy with. One thing I would advise is not to be too experimental when it comes to that state of mind, because it can easily go kind of wrong, or you might not like the end result. But keeping within the colors that you know you would like, pinks and greens, hello, what could be a cuter little simple composition is just easy. It will always work. So working with that, adding a few new details like maybe new shapes, or maybe pulling out 1 or 2 new watercolors. Doesn't have to be like brand new, but something from your stash that you haven't used for a while. I think something like this in terms of experimenting is quite good. Just not drastically going for something like a completely new style or color palette that you know you might hate. Alright, so I hope I shared all of my tricks and tips, and I am going to see you on Friday with new content. It's going to be Friday watercolor sessions. We're continuing that, and let me know if this is something you want to continue with. I will probably do it regardlessly, even if you say no, just because I'm enjoying myself so much, or whether you want something different for Friday, and I might consider it depending on how my week goes. All right, thank you so much for watching. I love your support and your commitment to this channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching yet again.